Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. So today we are going to talk about how often should I grocery shop. Now, you guys know I get inspiration from my videos pretty much everywhere. I had a conversation with a acquaintance a few weeks back, and that is inspiration for this video. So I was asked, what do I really enjoy about YouTube? And I said I really like educating people on how to lower their grocery costs. I feel like people are spending way too much money on groceries, and some people are just doing it unconsciously. Other people really don't understand how to lower their grocery costs. And so I like to educate people on that. And I was asked, how often should you grocery shop? And I said, once a month. Now, this is kind of controversial, I will agree, because everybody has it in their mind how they should do it. There's a lot of people that are still doing like, well, my mom did blah, 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 so I'm going to do that. Or like, this is how I've always done it. And you know me, if it's not working for you, it's not working for you. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you have been grocery shopping the same way for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and you are not satisfied with the outcome and you continue to do that, you are complicit in the waste of your money, time, and resources. So the reason why I suggested once a month is because then you really figure out what you use and don't use. A lot of people are going to the grocery store with a lot of hopes and dreams. And what do I mean when I say that? Good intentions. How many people are going to the grocery store, getting fruits and vegetables or getting whatever, and then tossing them in the trash in a few weeks? Because if you're not really going to use the items, you do not need to put them in your cart. And we really have to get out of the mindset of good intention grocery shopping. I have used this example with like gym memberships. Millions of people have gym memberships and they are not using them, and that's being deducted from their bank account every month because they plan to go to the gym. They hope to go to the gym. If I have that gym membership, it'll motivate me. Well, how many years have you been paying for that membership, and how many times have you actually gone? So this can be interchangeable with lots of things in our life. So if every time you're going to the grocery store, you're getting the same kind of items, and then at the end of the week or whatever, you're throwing away those items unopened, unused, unthought about, then you need to stop buying them. Now, I've gotten a little bit of criticism about the fresh fruits and vegetables. That's everybody's argument. But how many of you that have that argument are truly eating each and every one of those fresh fruits and vegetables that you're buying? For me personally, if I buy it, we eat it. I don't buy berries and they sit in the back of my fridge. They get eaten. Do you know what I mean? So you need to be thinking about that. So if you're starting off from scratch, you need to maybe for a month or two continue to do what you're doing, but I need you to keep track. Take pictures of everything that you are throwing away food-wise. This includes restaurant leftovers, fruits and vegetables that you completely forgot about, stuff you're just bored with, whatever it might be. Keep track of how much of that you're actually throwing away. And then from there, you want to start consciously grocery shopping. So I've said this before, and I've said this earlier in this video, we really don't throw food away. Like occasionally, but not really. So if you're going to the store and you're loading up on stuff and most of it is ending up in the trash, then that's not a good use of your resources, or it's just not. And I want to remind you guys that 1/3 of all the food that you buy is being thrown away. So that's not including all the food that gets wasted in farm production and transportation and in the factories and in the grocery stores and in restaurants. That is just your personal food costs. 1/3 is getting thrown away. So that's like you going to the grocery store and taking 1/3 of the items that you purchased and throwing them on the ground at the grocery store parking lot. You wouldn't do that. But then you come home and you're throwing them away. And there's a lot of misunderstandings on expiration dates, and we've already proven, you can look this up, that those are regulations for the freshest, and basically most of them don't really mean anything. You have to do the smell test, you have to use your eyes, you have to use your best judgment. I know I've bought stuff before that supposedly had weeks and weeks, like let's say a yogurt, and it looked funny or it smelled funny, so I didn't eat it. And I've had yogurt that was expired and tasted great, didn't make me sick, and you eat it and you move on. So how often should you grocery shop? The least amount as possible, especially in the beginning. There also is the argument that there are people that think that you should go grocery shopping every day, and they use the argument of a lot of people in Europe do that, but they're actually eating that stuff. There's a huge difference between going to the store, your local, let's say you have a market downstairs from your house or down the road, and you walk there after work and you pick up, fresh baked bread and, whatever, versus like the way Americans do it is like, they're not just going and buying 3 things for dinner, they're loading up a cart and spending a ton of money. And then there's also an argument for once a week, which I think once a week can be a good tool if you can stay within a budget. So that's what I see a lot online is people that go shopping every week based off the sales ads, but they stick to a specific budget. And if you really are starting from scratch, the least amount as possible, again, because then you can see what you're really using and what you're not using, and you can go from there. Some people swear by meal plans, other people don't. I don't really do a meal plan. Usually on Thursday or Friday, I kind of look around to see what we have, because that's when I do the majority of my cooking for my husband. During the week, we pretty much eat meals separately because of our work schedules, but Saturday and Sunday and usually Friday night, we do eat together. So I like to have a little bit of an idea in case I need to defrost something, or so then when it is mealtime, I'm not scrambling. So you kind of want to have meal ideas in the back of your head. And some people, that's not going to work for them. They feel really limited, or if they make a meal plan, then they're like, well, I really didn't feel like eating that, blah, 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 and then things get wasted. So you have to do whatever is going to be best for you. But clearly, if you're constantly throwing food away, then what you're doing right now is not working for you. So I would suggest shopping the least amount of possible. Also, because of impulse buys, how often are people actually going and writing a list and sticking to that list? I write a shopping list and I stick to it. I have a budget and I stick to it. But if you can't do that, then continually going in the store 10 times a week or whatever you're doing, and then being confused why, you spent all this money, but you don't really seem to have meals prepared. Another thing is too, a lot of people go out to eat a lot, and that is your prerogative, but you do not need to buy 2 weeks of groceries if you're only going to eat at home 2 dinners for those 2 weeks. That doesn't make any sense. Be realistic. It's just like the gym example that I gave. If you have the intention to eat at home, so you're buying things to eat at home, but you really know you're going to be eating out at a restaurant 5, 6, whatever nights a week it is, obviously what you're doing is not working, because you're double spending. You're spending for that meal out and you're spending for the groceries. So I hope that clarified some things for you guys. Like, I can't say like you should shop XYZ days or this or this or this. I'm just saying that what you're doing probably isn't working if you find yourself throwing away things constantly. And it might be time to kind of write down, take pictures. That's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this. Take pictures of what you're throwing away and how much that cost. And then think, that could have gone into an emergency fund. That could have gone to the vacation. Do you see what I mean? You have to start thinking like that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, bye.